10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Cliffs of Dover, where all drivers have to switch to the train. The race continues as we reach Calais. Oh, battery low! Battery low! Now that is a gentleman. 3 cars still in the race. Oh no, double dropout.
Please welcome the CEO of the Opel Group, GM Executive Vice President and President Europe, Dr. Karl Thomas Neumann.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is our all-new Opel Ampera E. Das Elektroauto. Or to say it differently, the electric vehicle for everyone. The new Opel Ampera E redefines electric mobility by solving the biggest challenge, the range. As you just saw in our intro, our Ampera E surpasses all of its competitors when it comes to range. You just saw it. On their way from London to Paris, the cars had to cover 470 kilometers. For 50 kilometers, to cross the channel from England to France, they took the train. Our goal? To drive the distance from London to the Paris Motor Show without recharging the battery. In the end, just one car made it, the Opel Ampera E. Let me give you some more exciting news. Based on preliminary NEDC tests, I can now confirm that the Ampera E will have a range of more than 500 kilometers, substantially more than we announced a couple of weeks ago. I repeat, more than 500 kilometers. This is 100 kilometers more than the strongest competitor currently on the road, according to NEDC. Yeah, and I can already hear your concerns. While the NEDC is important to create comparability, the test cycle does not really reflect everyday reality. Ladies and gentlemen, I also proudly can announce today that we estimate that the combined WLTP range will be over 380 kilometers. So driving from Vienna to Munich, from Brussels to Amsterdam, or as we just saw, from London to Paris, without range being an anxiety. This trip from London to Paris did not just happen in our little animated film. Last Saturday, we conducted a real-world test. 2 of our engineers drove the Ampera E from Piccadilly Circus in London to the doors of the Mondial de l'Automobile here in Paris. In this case, we are not talking about test cycles, we're talking about reality. We are talking about real people driving on open roads under real-world conditions, including the typical city center traffic jams in London and in Paris. And as shown in the animation, our engineers covered the entire distance on a single charge, 417 kilometers of driving on a single charge. But you know what? The best is, when we arrived here, the battery of the Ampera E was far from being empty. According to the onboard computer, it could have still covered a further 80 kilometers. So in the hands of a careful driver, on a normal road, under normal weather and traffic conditions, our Ampera E could have driven about 500 kilometers. So this car is a real game changer. We will introduce the Ampera E in Europe in spring 2017. More details on pricing and the sales approach will be announced in due course. But I want to underline that while many manufacturers are presenting their future electric cars with more than 400 kilometers range as concepts that will only hit the market in 2 or 3 years' time, we are presenting a real production car. Not a concept, your car. A car that you will be able to own and drive beginning next spring. But the Opel Ampera E is more than just a range champion. It's also real fun to drive. The power output of the electric motor is 204 horsepower. Standing starts at traffic lights or speeding up while entering the highway, that belongs to the Opel Ampera E's favorites. It sprints to 50 kilometers per hour in only 3.2 seconds. And yes, the Ampera E even competes with our super sporty OPC models in that respect. Well, you don't believe me? Have a look. It is fun to drive. The Ampera E really accelerates like a real sports car, but without the noise. I'm convinced that the Ampera E is a vehicle that you will all love to drive. But you will ask, where does this combination of power and range come from? And there is one person with us today who can explain this better than anybody else. May I introduce to you the Executive Chief Engineer of the Ampera E, Pam Fletcher. Pam, please welcome to me on stage.
Thank you, KT. Thanks, KT, and good afternoon. I brought a short video to show you the innovation and performance at the core of our all-new Ampera E, the all-new lithium-ion battery pack. This whole car was designed from the battery pack up. The Ampera E uses an entirely new architecture from the engineers at Opel and Chevrolet that will serve as a launching pad for future advancements and our future of mobility. The battery is a critical piece. I call it the heartbeat of the car. It makes the Ampera E travel so far without compromise anywhere else. The Ampera E delivers on energy and power. No sacrifices with this car. This nickel-rich lithium-ion cell provides 160 kilowatts of peak power, 60 kilowatt hours of energy. The Ampera E delivers on our fun-to-drive promise, just as you saw in the video that Carl Thomas showed. Whether it's a drive around town or a drive through the country, the Ampera E will delight you with its performance. And for the battery life, we're able to draw on our impressive history of over 2.4 billion electric kilometers traveled by our customers around the globe. That's 2.4 billion. And not only that experience from our customers, but also the use of our over 7,500 square meter battery lab that allows us to literally predict the future. All this experience and capability allows us to confidently offer an 8-year, 160,000 kilometer warranty on the entire propulsion system, including the battery. Given that the Ampera E is an electric car, people always want to focus on the battery. And while it's technically very capable, It also contributes to many customer benefits beyond just the range. You saw from the images how the battery pack is integrated into the floor, giving passengers and drivers easy entry and exit, no obstructions on the floor in that spacious back seat. Very roomy. Our 5-door Ampera E has room for 5 passengers and even more. The trunk space is comparable to that of a larger compact class hatchback. Not only does the battery design and placement help to deliver this impressive room, it's also an integral piece of the structure of the vehicle, contributing to torsional stiffness, low center of gravity, crash protection, and weight reduction. I mean, all those things that a customer cares the most about. So that makes it smooth and quiet, safe, with great performance and range. These smart choices, along with material uses and design decisions, contribute to the Ampera E's impressive all-electric range. I could go on and on about the features and technology in this car. It offers a colorful IntelliLink infotainment system, 10.2-inch center display. Also, a My Opel app provides Ampera E drivers with quick access to routing and charge stations. And when they do need to charge, and I can tell you from my experience, as I've had the luxury of driving the car for a few months now, that'll only be once or twice a week. So it's been my pleasure to present to you the all-new Opel Ampera E, our electric compact car that by far offers the greatest range in its segment. Thank you, and I'll turn it back to Carl Thomas.
Well, thank you very much, Pam. And as Pam mentioned, most people will never require a daily range of 500 kilometers. And especially if you consider average commuter travels of only 80 kilometers per day. And also, if you want to do a long trip, when traveling longer distances, Ampera E drivers can refill almost 150 kilometers in just 30 minutes at public highway charging stations. So then that's just the time of a short lunch break. Our Ampera E is not a luxury toy. It is not an eco gadget. It's not just a second car. It is also not a concept car. It's a real electric car suitable for everyday use. Outstanding digital connectivity is another integral part of the future-defining concept like the one in the Ampera E. This car is both the latest generation IntelliLink infotainment with iPad-like touchscreens, and of course, Opel OnStar, our award-winning connectivity and service assistant, both on board. The Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible IntelliLink system bring the world of smartphones into the Ampera E. They give passengers complete access to their favorite music or the possibility to play their favorite movies. Ladies and gentlemen, our model offensive at Opel is at full speed, with 20 new 9 models coming to the showrooms between this year and 2020. And with the revolutionary Opel Ampera E, Opel is back defining the future. Now please join me on stage with the Ampera E. Thank you very much. Thank you.